What's going on, Diggletdreamers? Mathers here with another episode of Moveset Monday. Today we're talking about an RU moveset. The Pokemon may not be in RU, it's actually in PU, but we're doing an RU moveset for it because that's where Quinlanding uses it all the time. The Pokemon we're talking about today is Meganium. Pokemon that's not often used, obviously, because it's in PU. But who doesn't love Meganium? I mean, look at it, it's a freaking Brachiosaurus with a flower on its neck, and it has antennae, and also the hidden ability Leaf Guard is coming out soon. I think in late February they're finally releasing it. I always was confused about. Can I just say something though? All these grass type Pokemon that have abilities that activate in the sun, it's always been kind of confusing to me because the sun also makes them even more weak to fire type attacks. So like I know it makes sense flavor wise because plants love sun, that's part of why they live. But it's just so unfortunate that they have to like take that risk to like set up the sun for the opponent to use a more powerful fire type move against them. Like for example, I think like what's it called? Livani gets like chlorophyll or something, and it's already like 4 times weak to fire. So it's like that's such a risk taking that because like you literally like a will-o-wisp will kill it at that point. Okay, now that I'm done with my rant, let's go over this Meganium moveset because it's a really fun one. Shout out to Quinlanding because he did come up with this, and he's been using it all over RU lately. It's leftovers to start. Overgrow, I think because Leaf Guard isn't officially out yet, but either way, Overgrow is definitely more useful of the two because you're not using the sun, and yeah. So the moves, this is where it gets interesting. Swords Dance, that is the first move. That's awesome, right? I know it is. Petal Blizzard, a move you probably didn't even really know existed, is actually a 90 power, 100% accurate physical grass type move, which not many Pokemon get, I don't think, actually. I actually had no idea what Pokemon get it, but that's a really cool move. Petal Blizzard, like, already sounds cool, and then because it's a physical move, that makes it like twice as cool, at least in my opinion. Next move is Earthquake, which is great. Oops, I hit brackets. Earthquake is the second move. These are your two offensive moves that you have. Grass and ground coverage. Obviously, it doesn't cover that much. Things like bug and flying are pretty much not covered at all. But that's why this Meganium is going to be a late game sweeper, like a super late game. You need to like hold on to it until you eliminate all those Pokemon that can't be taken out by a Petal Blizzard or an Earthquake. Use your other 5 Pokemon on the team to deal with those, and you'll be good. You'll have this thing. You can just like come in and set up using its own bulk, and then just sweep. So the final move, since Meganium doesn't really get much else, actually it does get Dragon Tail, which is pretty cool, but I think it's more important to have this final move to be Synthesis, because it is a great healing move and it's really helpful for a Pokemon that actually needs to set up. So you can set up a Swords Dance like 1 or 2 maybe, and if you get to a uncomfortable amount of health, then you can Synthesis and heal 50%, which is a really nice thing to have. Another option there that Quinlanding used to run is Aromatherapy, if you want to have it there. It comes in handy like 1 out of 10 times that Synthesis comes in handy, but it can be really useful, because getting Will-O-Wisped or Toxic or something can really completely ruin this set. So it's definitely another option if you want it. Definitely bulky physical sweeper, max HP, max attack, that's all you want. And then look at this thing, base 100 and base 100 defense and special defense. Like, that is freaking awesome. This thing can take a hit or two while setting up a Swords Dance. So that's really awesome. Yeah. we went over the whole set. Quinlanding, you're awesome. I like to name this thing Neum Mega. That's kind of like a joke because it's one of the Pokemon that has Mega in its name. Another great name for this is Flower Power. That's the Quinlanding one, I think. Actually, he might go just like totally normal Flower Power and be totally lame, but that's up to him. I don't think I have anything more to say on this set. Why don't we give it a few, make this video a little more interesting? Let's give it a few more Pokemon that it'll work well with. So what is Flower Power afraid of? Flying type and Bug type are the most feared types. Delphox could be really great on this, like teamed up with this, because it can deal with those pesky Bug types and other Grass types too, which are actually a problem. Definitely make it a fast offensive one that can just kind of come in and kill those Bug types real quick. Yeah, things like a Moongus can be problems. You have Earthquake for it, but it's still only a neutral hit, and Moongus is so bulky. Braviary is definitely one of the biggest threats. Escavalier can definitely be a problem. Fletchinder too. But Heliolisk and Jolteon will both actually be really great to have. Moltres is a huge problem. Pidgeot, I don't think Pidgeot's in RU anymore, but it can be a problem. Sceptile, yeah, there's lots of things that can be problems. Sceptile's not bulky enough to really be a threat, but so let's go over Jolteon. It could definitely be helpful. It's super fast, 130 speed, so it'll be able to outspeed any of those flying types that aren't scarfed. So if you're afraid of like a choice banded Braviary, or like a Life Orb Moltres, or I don't know, something like that, then you can just put this thing on the team, and a nice Volt Switch and Thunderbolt combination will probably just crush those things, and then you'll be able to bring in Flower Power pretty safely. Heliolisk, of course, can also fit into the slot pretty well, although I think Heliolisk, correct me if I'm wrong, but Heliolisk, I believe, dropped to NU pretty recently. And that's probably because Jolteon is in RU. Oops, I just hit the mic, sorry about that. But I think Heliolisk, in the last test, it just like dropped to NU. I may be wrong, but because it does still say RU in here, but they always take forever to update it on Showdown. But yeah, Heliolisk is also great because it doesn't have that base 130 speed that would be like a little overkill if you put a Choice Scarf on it. So it's great to just have this to outspeed absolutely everything. So I think this offensive core right here will actually be like a really helpful core against pretty much every team. I think it'll cover a lot of stuff. At least it'll hit. I think it'll hit at least everything neutrally, is what I'm trying to say. Like, what else does Grass and Ground not hit effectively? Grass and Ground coverage, I'm trying to think. Nothing seems to. Oh, Golbat could be a problem, just because it's flying. Like poison, it would normally Earthquake would hit poison types super effectively, but because Golbat's flying, it avoids that. But Heliolisk can deal with that, and so can Delphox actually with the Psychic type moves. Mawile is really awesome. We need to do a Mawile moveset sometime. Swords Dancing Mawile would actually be really cool too. Yeah, I think with this offensive core, you pretty much hit everything. And it's actually I really like this core because it's 3 Pokemon I really like, and I also really like the color combination we have going here. Yeah, that's me. Sometimes I like just seeing a good visual representation of the Pokemon on the screen. But I've been going on for a little too long now, I think. Flower Power, the Meganium, is really powerful, if you can't tell already. Swords Dance, Petal Blizzard, Earthquake, Synthesis, Max HP, Max Attack, Leftovers, crush it. Meganium. Boom. Moveset Monday. Guys, keep dreaming. I'll see you next time. Peace!